being here, and for all of you that were here yesterday for the tour duty workout, appreciate you guys waking up early for a change. It was awesome. Great to see you. Wonderful spirits. But no, exciting to get here as we move to the next phase of our off-season program. I thought we did a remarkable job in our winter conditioning program. Coach Storms, his staff, Jaden in nutrition, Josh Chapman, all of our sports medicine department was remarkable. I mean, our staff did an amazing job. Continuing to enhance the resources that we're providing for our student athletes. Being able to give them a great program to be able to attack. And we're seeing great returns, and that all comes down to the work of the student athletes and the buy-in that they have. I mean, they've made a tremendous investment with their time, with their commitment. Really trying to push the consistency of what we're doing. We've seen great strides within the program, and I think that this is a team that is building in their confidence, and they're building their confidence because of the work, because of the continuity that we've had, and really that sense of urgency for improvement. We've had 19 newcomers that joined the program there in January, and really been pleased with them. I believe every one of them. We talk a lot about finding the right fit. Having them here for the last couple months, I mean, it's just been a confirmation that we got the right guys, and all of them are in different places. Some guys that have transferred, that have a lot of experience. Some guys that are just coming out of high school that are jumping in, that are figuring things out as they go. But very talented group, not just what they do in the workouts, but who they are, and excited about them being a part of the program. But it's been a really good winter program. Excited about the size, speed, and athleticism that's been put on display. The work that's going on in the classroom. Our guys are challenging themselves. We continue to push that standard of their best, and they're embracing those challenges. And it's only getting amplified as we move forward. With all things in our program. But excited about spring practice starting on Monday. There's going to be a lot of competition. We're going to get 3 practices in before spring break, which will be good because those will be, the first 2 are just going to be in helmets, and so there's not going to be a whole lot of the physical. But I want to see guys, and have a great focus on their communication, on their alignments, on their first step, and then in everything that we do, I want to see them finish. I want to see that effort show up and be put on display as we're going to establish the identity of this team and all that we can do here in spring practice. And then when we come back from we'll have our first padded practice will be on Friday, which we will plan on mixing it up pretty good there. We'll have spring break, and then we'll come back and kind of get into that rhythm for spring ball as we move towards the spring showcase there April 15th. But it's going to be a great spring with a lot of competition. There will be a few guys that will be limited. A couple guys that'll be out. I'll get that to you. Probably come Monday. I want to make sure that before I put that out, just talk to student athletes, make sure they're good with that. That being out there. We'll have a couple guys that'll be out for spring, and some guys that'll be limited just as they progress. But you'll really like the depth that we've been able to create and establish, and you're excited to see guys go out there and compete out there on the field. So with that, I'll take questions.
All right, we do not have a microphone, so Ira will have the first question.
Just speak loud, please.
There's so many guys on the team, and you see them every day. Are there moments where you can reflect on how far individual guys have come? Does that hit you at times, or because you see them all the time, does it not?
No, I mean it's funny that you bring that up because we talk about that as coaches. We're watching, we go through and every workout that we have. So like our tour duty workouts, we had 11 of them here this spring, and everything's charted. Everything. Whether it's the GPS tracking to see the workloads, the reps. I mean, in those workouts, the amount of the number of reps, the amount of work that's going into it. I mean, it's extreme. I mean, it's the workload that's from this year to our first year. I mean, it's night and day. But it's also funny when you sit back and you go and you watch some of these newcomers that come in and that are going through it. I mean, it's jumping on them because they are doing basically a culmination of 3 years of work where you've got guys that had the same experience 3 years ago. Now these guys it's still new to them, and so it's kind of a funny process to watch. But guys that have grown, leaps and bounds, and we talked about as a staff going back and watching those first couple of workouts and just where it was and what it looked like, and even the efficiency of movements, and it kind of gives you a reminder of some of the newcomers that come in, just the steps that are ahead for them. And I know I mentioned yesterday, somebody asked me, like I think about Trey Benson a year ago, and he was limited in some of the things that he did, but I mean there was, you feel him in every movement that he had. Like he is so explosive and so powerful, and just the confidence that he has. If you rewind it 12 months ago, I mean he's still trying to build, just running, just the steps ahead of what he could do. And he went through the tour of duty, and it's completely night and day to where it was. So our offensive line, the guys that we have that are returning, that have been within the program, and just the way that they control their bodies, it's remarkable. And so yes, that's big picture. We do take notice of that, but I mean it's really top down that you see that improvement, but it's also a good reflection of just some of the newcomers that are joining the program. When they hit that wall, I mean it's because it's extreme workload, and so just helping to kind of build them to where they're going because of the steps that others have been able to live out.
Next will be Matt Marshall, second row on your left.
Mike, based on last year, how you guys finished up, there's going to be a lot of expectations going to this upcoming year. How do you kind of handle those expectations, and maybe for a program that hasn't had to face that maybe in the last 3 or 4 years?
Well, we've had to face them within, because the expectations for us have always been to go be our best, and it's not. I try not to get caught up on the outside. I am ecstatic that people are talking good about Florida State nationally. They should. This program deserves that. This program has earned that through the test of time. We got away from it for a little bit, but the work by the young men that I get to coach and what they've done have put us back in that national conversation, and I don't plan on that going away. That's something that we want to happen. It's something that's important to this program for what we represent. But when it comes to expectations, there's no outside expectation that's bigger than our expectations. And because if that's what we relied on, right, then we're putting the things that we aspire for based off other people. It's about us. It's about our growth, our improvement, all the things that we know that we can accomplish. And I do believe that was something that helped us a year ago, when maybe the outside wasn't talking as much about what we could do. But now this year we have to get better. We have to improve in all phases. And there were some great you have some great examples of what can be done, but it's still about the consistency of how we're doing that. And there was last year was not a perfect season. This is a new team this year. And we've got a lot of steps and a lot of areas we have to. It's critical that we improve in, and that's. Our guys have that sense of urgency, and we need to have that sense of urgency every single day in all that we do. And so, we have high expectations within, and we're going to continue to push to that, every single day.
Next will be Chris Nee, front row.
You spoke yesterday about the 3 transfer O-linemen and standing out. What does it mean for this group to have as much returning experience up front combined with those guys coming in to be too deep finally?
Yeah, I mean, it's the competition growth. And we knew it last year. You saw it. You saw it in practice. I mean, with the guys that were playing, but also you looked at that second group, and even with some of the freshmen that we had that didn't have to play a ton, but that were getting the quality reps. And now you see guys, Julian Armella, you see. Jalen Early, Quayshawn Sapp. I mean, those guys are really. I mean, they're growing up, and I'm excited about what they're going to be able to do, and getting Bless Harris back. Bless was. I mean, we tend to forget Bless was our certain right tackle. There for first game of the season. I was so excited about what he was going to do, and then he missed the rest of the year, and it was good as he was rehabbing towards the end of last season. Was able to get back involved, but I mean, now he's fully cleared, and the opportunity for him to go and grow. But now you have that competition on top of bringing in 3 guys with a lot of experience, and guys that are definitely very capable as players, but man, it's incredible in that group and in that locker room. I love the leadership that I've seen. For the 3 guys I mentioned, that have transferred in, they want to be a part of this, not just for themselves, but to help this overall group. And when you have that type of mindset, especially up front, man, that's what we saw that example with Dylan Givens. And Dylan came in, and that was one of the Dylan didn't have the playing experience necessarily as much coming in, but he still had the passion to make an impact within a group. And now we have guys that are bringing both into this, and that's there's a lot of competition, but also a lot of excitement about where this group can go and the depth that we've been able to create.
Right next will be Matt Baker, second row, left.
Hey Mike, you talked a minute ago about that sense of urgency. How do you ensure that you guys have it? I mean, we're returning so much from a team that had a breakthrough season. How do you keep pushing forward?
It's a daily focus. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's still what this program's built on, and it's not. And I've said before, if all you do is focus on, a game or a moment, right, and about what you have, like whether it's an opponent. I mean, there's times we win games or that we have won games and not played to the level that we're capable of, and I'm pissed off about it. And because it's still not about all the other things. And the sense of urgency is to be better. It's to improve. It's to challenge yourself, right? To go beyond what you even think that you can accomplish. And so if you don't have that urgency every day, then you're giving somebody else the opportunity to take advantage of that competition that you're going to face. And so really it is about us. And if waking up with a daily focus of, man, I've got to go put all that I have out there. It doesn't guarantee that I'm going to be successful, but if you don't have that urgency, you're missing out. And that's the focus with the team. I don't care where you are, what things are going on in your life, all the challenges this world can throw at you. You better wake up and bring all that you have so that you can improve and you can overcome the challenges or bumps that might show up on that journey.
We'll go to Jerry, back left corner.
Coach, you have more depth and experience than you've had coming into the spring. Do you see the physicality, the contact in this spring maybe being more?
Yeah, I mean, we pride ourselves on being physical regardless. And I mean, we've had pretty physical, springs, and developing the toughness that I think has shown up. I think that's, our guys embrace it. We're going to be smart with our players, and we're going to, obviously there's guys that have played, a lot of college football that, they still have to improve. And there's going to be, the time, the place of how we do that and continue to create that explosiveness and that power just from the techniques and the fundamentals that we use. But we got a very competitive spring ahead, and there's going to be with having the number of players that we have on the roster, it's going to allow us to be unique in how we kind of structure that and making sure that plenty of reps are going to be able to be dispersed, but it's also going to give guys a great opportunity to show where they are and obviously the potential of where they can go.
We'll go Brendan here on the front row to your left.
You guys lose Ontario Wilson, Malik McLean, 2 wide receivers who've been pretty productive the last couple of years. I guess what has the competition for those to fill those reps been like so far this offseason?
No, it's been great, and I know we talked a little bit about Darion Williamson. I mean, I think he's got an elite level potential. I mean, we've seen flashes of it, and it's been unfortunate. He's had some injuries that he's had to overcome. Deuce Spann is somebody I'm really excited about. I think he's shown a lot of big play capability, and he got he just transitioning to the receiver position when he got here, and so we're excited about where that can go. Kentron, I know yesterday I mentioned Kentron and just who he is. I mean, that I'm very excited about him as well. And then you throw in some of the newcomers, and obviously get Winston back. I mean, that versatility of guys. I mean, you look at the guys that played quite a bit, whether it's Micah, Jakai, Johnny, and I mean those guys were productive. But now you throw in Hakeem Williams is it's going to be fun watching him this spring. And he's one of those guys I was talking about earlier. It's like you see. I mean, he shows up every day and he goes to work. Vendravis shows up every day and goes to work. Now, there's times where they hit that wall, and it's there's some challenges that they get to go through that. But I mean, there's no doubt with the explosiveness and what you feel with them within a workout. I'm excited to see how that's going to translate out there to the field. So I mean, it's going to be great competition. I like even the opportunity that we're going to have with different personnel groups. I mean, you see you guys, Kyle, Jaheim coming in, Jarrell Powers is somebody, Marquiston, what he did towards the end of the season, Preston, all those guys, that tight end position, they're all very unique in their skill set. So it's going to be fun to see how this team, what we're able to do with that. Same thing with the running back position. I'm looking forward to this spring to kind of see a little bit of that potential that we have with the different groupings, but also the competition in all those positions. Fighting to be able to make their own opportunities.
Next will be Gene Williams on the right, third row.
Coach, you talked about the depth. You've got a lot more returning players probably than you've had since you've been here, but also when I asked you about the coaching staff, you've got a lot of continuity with every assistant, most of the key personnel coming back other than obviously Coach Surtain. What does that continuity on your staff do for you guys going into practice? Does it make you a lot more efficient, and how does that help?
Yeah, I mean, it's great when you have continuity. It's something I've talked about, over the last few years that I think was critically important for our program, and it was important for the players. It was important for the staff, just to because that also builds confidence when you've been able to go through experiences with people, and you see their response, you see the work, you get a sense of who they are, but also the areas where we can all grow. And the same sense of urgency that I talk about with the players, the same sense of urgency we have as a coaching staff. We went through, and it's one thing to talk about what we're doing with our players, but it's also another thing to talk about what we've done within ourselves. I mean, you got top 15 offense, top 15 defense, special teams that has made great improvements, but there's still so many areas of growth. And so what are we doing? What are we implementing to help continue to elevate the positions that we're putting our players in, but also the things, the finer details, so that we can show up more consistently, and how we're executing. And so I've been pleased with our coaching staff and just that same sense of urgency, but really excited. And then bringing Coach Surtain in, I mean, he's an impressive coach and an impressive man. He absolutely fits our program. You feel his energy, his excitement, the relationships he's building with his players. He was the right fit to come in, and I think it's going to continue to push and elevate our staff and what we're able to do.
Go back to Chris on the front row.
Kind of similar to the O-line question. D-line, a lot of pieces returning, add new guys like Brandon Fitz, Gilbert Edmond, and so on. The addition of those guys, what does it mean for it? And also the versatility of what you can do up front, how much does that change?
I mean, you're spot on with that. It's I think that has a chance to be potentially the strength of this entire team. And when you look at the guys that we have up front, the size, power, speed, athleticism, I mean, it's the best that we've had since we've been here. And and it's a great, it should be an expectation. You say that when you look at Florida State and all the great defensive lines that we've had, but it was being able to go out and identify and bring in the right guys, for the high school level, guys that have grown and developed. I mean, you see a Josh Farmer, you see Malcolm Ray that's kind of grown up through it. Obviously you have a Daniel Lyons that's I think has worlds of potential. And then coupled with that, some of the veteran players that are returning, Dennis Briggs, Fabian Lovett, obviously all the guys that are out there on the edge. When you talk about Pat and Derek McClendon, I mean, that it's exciting to have those guys that are here, and then you're bringing in newcomers that are going to absolutely challenge. But when you go watch the championship game from last year. Team that won it, go watch the rotation they had on defense. I mean, there is not a play that's happening, right, where guys are just going through the motion, because guys are staying fresh, guys are making impacts, they're defining their role and opportunity together with a group and that's what we want, and that's what we needed to get to. And there's been an overall excitement within our team up for that, but it also means you got to show up every day. And you better bring it, or there's somebody that's definitely gonna be buying for those reps, and being able to capitalize on the opportunities that are given.
We'll go back to Ira.
You talked about the coaching staff some. Last week, we got the news that they've all signed extensions, and there's been obviously an intense financial commitment to this staff. Over the last year, there's been increasing resources devoted. We got a football facility being built. Did you, when you took the job, I'm sure you guys had conversations along those lines, how pleased have you been with Florida State's commitment to the program?
No, it's, our administration, it is, that alignment, in what we're doing, I mean, it's special. And, I'm forever grateful to every person that helped bring me to Florida State a few years ago and bring the staff to Florida State, and, just the passion for the university, it played a big role. And, just, what our university stands for and what we're all about. And, as we've, transitioned with new leadership, I mean, we've hit a home run. And, from, the president to the board of trustees, to Michael and the athletic department, I mean, it's a remarkable place. And, to be able to go out and represent this university, I mean, we know the responsibility we have, but the commitment and the support behind that is something that is special. And, when you look at a staff, I think we've been able to hire a great staff, and we've had, guys that have been able to show and, bring great value, to what we're doing. And then, obviously, we've had a lot of coaches that have had plenty of other opportunities, and, and guys on the field, guys off the field. I think when you look at, guys that are, even guys that are not on the field coaches that, I mean, have made tremendous impacts just, in assisting just all things, whether it's, an area of evaluation or things that they're doing. I mean, we've had guys that have turned down on the field positions at Division I schools just to be here with what we're doing. That's an exciting thing. But that wouldn't happen if we didn't have resources, and if we were not supported, in that. And so I'm grateful for all of our administration and, just the board of trustees and all that they do, and their belief in what we're continuing to build here. And so it's definitely, like I said, I'm very appreciative of it.
All right, next will be Kurt Weiler, second row.
Replacing, I know Jamie's probably, I guess, the biggest defensive piece you're replacing on that side of the ball. Having so many options there, I guess, how excited are you, but just kind of having so many pieces to work with there this spring, and specifically Fentrell Cypress, I know he's a corner, but coming in and just all the success he's had. At this
No, I
level.
mean, and Fentrell's done a great job. I mean, as I finished up yesterday, I was asked about, some of the newcomers, and he's one that's, I mean, he's hit the ground running, and he's really done a remarkable job of how he's transitioned. Fits that room. He's smart. He's athletic, explosive, all things that he's doing. But he's also provided some flexibility for us. I talked about Amari Cooper, who's you look at the versatility in our defense backfield, I think it's one of their greatest strengths. And you got guys like Jarian Jones, who's a corner but can play nickel. I mean, he can really do it all. And he's coming into the best of his career. He's really had some some good performances. Renardo Green, who's played all over our defensive backfield already. He can do so many different things. And you got young guys like Azari Thomas. I mean, he's changing his body. I mean, he's going to be a great player here. But then you bring in some of the newcomers that are here right now. I mean, I've been so excited about KJ Kirkland, watching him around. Quindarius, I mean, those guys, they are very talented. Then you look at our nickel position with Greedy and obviously Kevin Knowles and all the reps that he's had. That group can really do so much. But when you see that, and Akeem Dent coming back was big for us. And Akeem is. He's somebody that's transitioned through, and we started off at corner when he first got to Florida State. Even last year, I thought, to be honest with you, I thought he was pressing a little bit at the beginning of the year and some of the things he was doing as he was playing, but then you saw him just get better as the season went on. And, for him coming back for his last year, I mean, that was big because, Jamie did so many things. And it was a special player, but be able to have a little bit of that leadership, and then having a guy like Shaheem Brown who's been active and played a lot. That now he's got to take another step. But I like that group a lot, and I like some of the newcomers that have come in, and excited to see them out there on the field and how they're gonna perform.
All right, we'll go in the back for Allison.
Hey, Coach. You talk about guys that are coming back. Jared Verse. I mean, not only what he's going to bring you guys on the field, but just his leadership with this team too. How key was it that he was able to provide?
No, I mean, it's huge, and I mean, it's when you have a great player, which Jared has all the potential to be a great player, but that cares about people. that's what makes him special. And you feel that energy, and Jared likes to talk, and everybody knows he likes to talk, right? But it's also for the time whenever he's challenging guys or trying to find that competitive edge or spirit. Go watch him encourage his teammates. That's what I love, and it's not just about him, because this him coming back and him being a part of it. If it was just about him, he would probably taken his talents and went to the next level. But it's who he gets to do it with, and when guys get to see that, when they get to feel that, when they're around that, it's just, and that's culture, that's family, that's what this is all about. And he has a responsibility, right? That he needs to be better. Right? And it's all anybody that came back, anybody that's coming in, I don't care what the journey is, it's still about that, because leadership will be about action. And any player on our team can stand up and say a few words. I can get up and talk in front of our team, but if my actions don't follow up to what I'm saying, it doesn't matter. And so it's like, that's what I love. And we had some guys, you go through a winter program, and things happen, you get all different things that guys build their bodies, and but it's fun. Like Akeem Dent, I'm not gonna talk about any injury. Yesterday was his first mat drill, and he's done some other things, but he was rehabbing from something. But I was so happy to see him on the last one, which yesterday was the highest load that we did. And the last one, he got in and was able to get himself back to do that for the last workout. That was so impressive to me. Jared's done the same thing. Jordan. I mean, all guys that you get done with the season, you're working through a lot of different factors, but seeing guys that are able to go through those workouts and push themselves, I mean, it's impressive. And we got to make sure that that not only it's seen, but it's felt and it's heard, right? Because I mean, the actions are always going to speak louder than the words, and I mean, it's big for the leadership of this team. And there's some guys, like I said, that won't be able to go through spring, but it's still, what is the impact they're willing to make, and what is the impact they're going to make. And that's so big for our program, and even some of the newcomers. We knew with Braden coming in, he's not going to get to do a whole lot of the physical, out there on the field this spring. But just seeing his mentality, how he attacks his rehab, how he is in the meeting room, how he is around our team and program, like that's a real guy, and that's what we need. And so that leadership comes in a lot of different forms and fashions. But Jared is definitely one that has done a nice job of living that out.
Okay, time for 3 more. We're gonna go Brendan, then Matt Baker, then Jared Cook.
What if I get really long-winded on one of them?
They've got their hands up.
I'm done.
3 questions. Here we go. Does Ira because he'll do a 2 for 1?
No, we don't have time.
Thanks.
Brendan.
Sorry.
Mine was actually a 3-part.
Yes, 3-part question.
Jordan Travis has made so many strides year over year. I guess what is the next step for him in his evolution?
I mean, it's the continued consistency in all those little things. And I mean, it's funny. I was just talking with Tony about it this morning. Like, it's fun watching him and the emphasis that he puts in his own improvement. Like he approaches a meeting like it's a day 1 meeting, and that's what you want that from great players. And just some of the finer detail things that we point out to him, because you go back and you watch an entire season, and you're able to it's going to help confirm a lot of the things that you might talk about being important, and say, all right, well, this is just a little area where we can improve, and then you see the application of it. And that's what Jordan is. He's remarkable when it comes to. It's what's allowed him to go out there and do what he's done, but it's also what excites me about the potential for his future. And he's done a wonderful job, and I'm excited to see him continue to grow in that consistency. He's played at a high level, but he's got great days ahead.
Matt.
That was my question. I punt.
Perfect. Then now we have time for 1 more.
Saw the shot.
Shit. Ira's back in the game.
Coach, you mentioned how important rotations were in the championship ball games in the playoffs, the rotation of players. You're going into spring with depth, and so you're going to get guys reps to try to build that rotation, right? But you also have the transfer portal now that looms out there, and there's guys who maybe if they're 4th on the depth chart or 3rd, you how do you balance that to be sure that guys have the opportunity and know their value?
Well, I mean, it's, you know, you're gonna make the opportunity. And it's, for players, part of their job is to force us to play them. It really is, and going out there and executing it at a high level and putting ourselves in a position to be the best we can be, because that's what's gonna win games. With the transfer portal, I think that it is a positive thing, because it does provide opportunities for guys. If they get to a certain point in their career and they don't, and if it's something that, I'm gonna be honest with them. And there might be guys that we sit there and have a conversation and say, look, this is where it's at, right? This is what it's gonna look like, and you still have an opportunity to grow and improve, but when you have all these reps that have gone into it, these are steps that need to be taken. It does open the door for some guys to go and explore different situations. On the flip side of it, one of the things that a negative of the transfer portal is, sometimes guys are very early in their careers or very early in their process, and freshmen are freshmen, and there are some freshmen that come in and they're able to play quickly in their career because of unique opportunities or unique skill sets or what they provide. But you hate to see guys that give up on a situation or an opportunity that they have. I mean, because they can't see past what the short term is, and this is a special place. It's we've had a lot of guys that have chose to come to Florida State, to stay at Florida State, to return to Florida State because of how we do things, because of what their experience here is. I mean, they love being Seminoles. They love the opportunity to grow and develop within what we're doing within the program. And so, could some guys probably go and maybe log more snaps somewhere else? Sure, and that's out there. But it's also, what are you doing? What does that experience hold for them? What is the opportunity? Because every one of these guys on our team, right, they don't want their last rep to be in college. They want to play at the next level. They want to maximize that career as well. And so it's about continuing to build and develop for them to get better so that they do get that opportunity. And when they get there, that they have, a longevity in what that career can be as well. So, it's a twofold balance, but, our focus is going to be on all the things that we can do to put together the best team and continue to build that for what this year's Florida State team is going to be. Ira, don't give me that. You asked the question. Oh, was that your question too?
No, it was Derek. Derek was going to call me to give me the last question. I was declining.
Anybody else want to decline a question? I mean, this is the first time in years that we have. He took my question. I don't get to. I mean, that's part of it. Audible. Let's go.
That wasn't my question. I've got a question.
Go, Ira, go.
Quarterback room, you asked about Jordan. How excited are you to see the way the other three quarterbacks kind of?
Good question, Ira. So that's one of the things I'm excited about for this spring. You got Jordan, who's played a lot of football. Obviously he has a responsibility, and it's a necessity for him to get better here this spring. Timing, continuity, all those things are important. But with him returning, there's still going to be a chance for a lot of these guys, whether it's Tate, AJ, Brock coming in, I want to see them get out there and operate. And there's gonna be a lot of competition in that room, because you look at last year's Louisville game, and we're down 7 at half, and guess what? Tate Rodemaker has to go out there and do it. And I believed in what he could do, but it was his opportunity. He had to be ready for that. And it didn't start great, but it finished remarkably, and it's something that I'll always remember. But he had to earn that. And he'd earned the confidence within the staff, within himself, within the team to be able to go do it. That's a big part of this spring as well. Is how much better is he going to be? How much better is AJ? AJ has been busting his butt. I'm so proud of the maturity that I've seen in him continuing to grow. Right? Brock has hit the ground running. I promise, that is a real guy. Right? I love that quarterback room that we have. Now it's competition, it's execution, it's consistency. And this spring is going to allow kind of a unique opportunity with just the experience that Jordan has. I'm going to get to see all of them with the ones at some point this spring. What are you going to do with it? All right. And then, you know, obviously we still have a lot of time till you kick off in, you know, in August and fall camp, and then obviously our first game in September. But, you know, each of these reps are gonna help position that to what it's gonna look like as we get closer to the fall.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you guys, really
Thank
appreciate all the
you.
questions.
Thanks, Mike.